Hi, and welcome to the fifth video in the series of the 6 pillars of PageSpeed. This video covers off the pillar number 4, responsive images. So responsive images are all about setting up the correct image breakpoint sizings so that the browser can really determine the correct image size to return for that particular device. And as I'm about to show you inside the demonstration VM, changing the viewport size allows the browser to download a smaller images for mobile or a bigger image for, say, a desktop sized screen. Responsive images, if you're using SXA, come out of the box, so they're really quite easy to set up and configure. And basically, you just have to set up your rendering variants to support that responsive image template that Cycor has provided. This is all available in that official documentation, which I'll put in the description of this video. So let's jump into the VM and I'll give you a quick overview. So for this Cycor instance, I've got the responsive images set up on the home page under the sparecd.dev.local internal domain. And I'm not going to dive into Cycor, as obviously the Cycor documentation covers all that, just to show you how the responsive images are working. If I load the page, I've got an image download size total of 1.1 megabytes, and that's out of 3.4 megabytes of resources. If I shrink the screen size right down, I'm telling the browser that if responsive images are set up, then it will be allowed to download a more appropriately sized version of that image for this particular viewport width. So let's hit refresh. And as you can see, instead of 1.1 megabytes, the download size of the images for this particular screen size is 800 kilobytes. So you can see the reduction just by changing that viewport width. Okay, let's go ahead and get some results outside the VM in Google PageSpeed Insights. And before I do that, I'll start up my simple load test tool and make sure that latency is in the expected range of around the 100 to 200 milliseconds. Just want to see that stabilize. Okay, here we go. Running out the test on the responsive image website now on the Habitat homepage. First score in 51. And we're expecting to see provide correct image sizing criteria gone, which it is, and I'll show you that on the next slide as well. 51 previously, expecting it to be around that same point for the next lot of tests. 60, okay, that's a fair jump. See if we get in the middle point of that. 59. Jumped ahead here with the responsive image scoring, and I've run all 5 test cases. Let me show you that on the screen. And overall, implementing responsive images in terms of all these pillar techniques we're talking about had the least impact, but you're still resulting in around a 10 to 15 point boost around the midpoint of the scoring system as an individual pillar. So, I mean, nothing to shy away from. 10 to 15 points at the end of the day when you get to that combined scoring for all the pillars put together. It's still going to result in a few points at the top of the scoring system when you get into that 80 to 100 range where we really want to be. So we don't want to be in this mid-range once we put all these pillars together. So the criteria that you're ticking off, and you'll see that disappear once you start implementing responsive images on the page, is that properly sized images recommendation there, which Google says will give us a saving of about 0.3 seconds on the initial page load. So that's a wrap on the responsive image pillar. Stick around for the next video, which will cover deferred CSS and critical CSS. Thanks.